To follow along with this tutorial, you will need these supplies. Lay your fabric right side up, then place the lace trim right side down on top so both right sides are facing each other. It's important that the right side of the lace and the right side of the fabric are facing each other. This will make sure the lace sits correctly once we turn it right side out. Then clip or pin the lace and fabric together along the edge, making sure the ends are lined up evenly. This helps keeps everything in place when we sew. Now sew about 0.5 centimeters from the edge to secure the lace and fabric. This keeps everything in place and makes the next steps easier. Start sewing with a back stitch at the beginning. Then sew along the edge with 0.5 cm seam allowance all the way down. When you reach the end, backstitch again to secure it. Now give your stitch a good press with an iron. A quick press with an iron will help flatten the seam and give your scrunchie that clean, polished look. Next, take the short ends of the fabric and align them together. Make sure it is the right sides facing each other. Match up your short ends together and clip them in place so they stay still while we sew. Sew along this edge with 1 cm seam allowance. The right sides should still be facing each other. Always begin your stitch with a back stitch and always end your stitch with a back stitch. Open up the seam and press it flat. This helps to reduce bulk and keeps the scrunchie looking neat. With the wrong side facing you, fold the top edge in halfway. Then fold the bottom edge in to meet it. This creates a tube shape. It's called the burrito method. If this part feels a little confusing, don't worry. Just follow along with what I'm doing in this video. It will make sense as you go. Then bring the bottom seam up to meet the top seam. This will help everything align neatly before sewing. After lining up the seams, clip them together so they stay in place while we sew. With the tube still stuck inside, sew along the top raw edges, right sides together. Begin with a back stitch. Then continue sewing along the raw edges with 0.7 seam allowance. As you get close to the end, stop with your needle down to hold the fabric in place. Then gently pull the tube from the inside. This will help to reveal the next section to sew. Keep sewing along the raw edges as the tube comes out. As you are sewing, be careful not to sew the tube, just the raw edges. Keep pulling the tube through gently as you sew until you reach the spot where you begin stitching. As you keep sewing and pulling the tube out, make sure your needle is down each time you stop to adjust. This holds the fabric in place while you gently pull more of the tube through. Keep going until you reach the beginning stitch. Once you have almost reached the starting point, leave a 3 centimeter opening and backstitch at both sides. This will keep the opening secure so we can turn the scrunchie right side out. Trim any loose threads around the opening to keep everything neat and tidy. You should now have a small opening like this. Grab the tube through the opening and gently pull it right side out. Now you should give the seam a good press, including the lace and fabric, so it sits nice and flat. Sew around the tube along the folded fabric edge. Make sure you are sewing along the folded fabric edge. Use your presser foot to guide you. Keep the fold at the edge of the foot and your needle about 1 cm seam allowance from the folded edge, just like how I'm doing here. If you want, you could also position your needle on the left. Leave another small opening about 2 cm wide along the top folded edge. Make sure to backstitch on both sides. This is where we'll insert the elastic into the tunnel we just created. So in total, you'll have 2 openings, one for turning the scrunchie and one for inserting the elastic. Trim any loose threads. Next, give the whole piece a good press with your iron. After ironing, take a safety pin and secure it to one end of your elastic. Then insert it into the tunnel we created along the folded edge. Slowly guide the elastic through the tunnel. Clip the other end of the elastic to the lace or scrunchie near the opening. This will keep it in place and prevent it from slipping into the tunnel while you work on feeding the rest of the elastic through. It also helps start creating that scrunched up look that we need for the scrunchie. Once the elastic is fully threaded through the tunnel, carefully pull the safety pin out from the opening. Now both ends of the elastic should be sticking out from the same side. Next, unpin the safety pin and bring both ends of the elastic together. Pin them in place to stop them from slipping. Then, use a hand needle to securely stitch the 2 ends of the elastic together. Make sure they're tightly sewn so the elastic doesn't come apart later. Lastly, close the opening of the fabric tube. You can either hand stitch it or simply use your sewing machine to close it with a straight stitch. And that's it! If you have any questions about this tutorial, please leave it down in the comments. I would be happy to reply to it.